Three sisters with stories to tell. Books in our hands, we know them well. Flipping pages where dreams dwell. Chapter one, here you go. Turn the light, let the words flow. Laughs and love in every show. Books, sweethearts, we grow.
All right, and then we have chapter 96, the Adore. Chapter 96, For the Love of Hades. So here we are getting a visual of everything Lyra is doing to try to get to Hades, try to get through there. The things she's telling him are just very simple. I'm here, like I'm out of Tartarus. It's me, like I'm safe. Don't worry about it. She does in her head. She says that I'm out of Tartarus, and he like the smoke is angry. And like, I don't want to talk about that. And what's funny is that none of those really like, I'm safe, I'm here, I love you. None of that does anything, but she's like so damn stubborn. And it's like, I'm in the clear and I recognize that stuff. Yeah. And so that makes her think like, what do I do here? What is our relationship? And our relationship is banter. Mm-hmm. It is like, so like, you like listen to me all the time, but now you're gonna ignore me. Like this is when you're gonna choose me. And he's like, what are you like? Are you trying to piss him off? Like you're like, shut up. She's like, I know what I'm doing. It didn't work for you. So she continues with that. Like she finally gets to move this out of my way. I need you, please. I need you, and that's when she gets a path, and she can see the temple of it. And She's like, go by Aphrodite. It's all you now. They're like, go. She runs as fast as she can. She says, I might as well be wearing Hermes wing sandals. I fly so fast up that mountain. And when she gets there, it's pitch black. Not just the smoke, but like the walls are black. Everything is black, all obsidian. And the columns are obsidian. So she says, I step inside and 1,000 impressions bombard me all at once. And the only thing in the room is the throne at the other end with Hades on it. And he's just as owning it, even as his posture is indolent. Is indolent like passive? I don't know that word.
I don't either.
I used context clues and took the like,
I would take it as like
so burdened.
And I would take it as like, this is mine.
I just decided like insolent is one, but I also don't know what it means, but it also has a negative connotation.
Even as his posture is indolent. So like he's like not enjoying himself.
Wanting to avoid activity or exertion. Lazy.
Oh, so he just looks like he's
like he's just like
he's exhausted.
Ooh, context clues for the win.
Yeah, me too. Like he does not care what he has to do to get his goal, but like he has to destroy it. So that is where he is. She sees his bident or a bident curved above him, devil's horns and a halo at the same time is what they look like. And she says that I don't think we've ever heard Lyra say that Hades looks terrifying, but she says that the most terrifying part of the scene is Hades. And she's never seen him like this before. And she said he looks something between a medieval outlaw and a video game assassin.
With those little hooded cloak.
Yes, with the like thick leather boots up to his knees and things. He still is not seeming to recognize that she is there. He's chained to the floor, which would be a minute to grasp like what was going on, but he's chained down. I'm like, she says, I take in this tortured man who has chained himself to the throne in an effort to believe in me and not unleash himself completely to the world. I was like, he has to hold himself down because his power is so crazy, it's going to like throw him across the room. I don't know.
Shit.
This is how I picture it. And she doesn't feel, she feels the wrath in the room and the power in the room and the energy is palpable. She doesn't feel fear of him. She feels afraid for him because she saw how he came off of the last one when he leveled the Olympus. How is he going to recover for this? And the first thing he says, which we got that conversation recently, is like, your hair is long.
Yeah.
So recognizing that she's there. And my initial reaction was like, he just doesn't believe it. like he doesn't grasp like how she could have gotten out. So this is the reaction he's having.
Well, and it's like the long hair has always been tied to her future self.
The future.
And so it's like you time traveled, like
Yeah,
fine.
and be gone in a second.
Yeah. And she says he's like,
So to add
Mhm.
for you,
Oh,
she
right.
said, but even through that terror, I still feel my body react.
Libra, you horn dog. And
I mean, she's been stuck in a cave for God knows how long.
he's been getting it.
And her
But
man
she's
is
been
super sexy.
ping-ponged between
She gets trapped.
yeah, Hades and real Hades. So
That's only going to be
It's like she's in prison with, what is it called? Whatever they let you come in.
conjugal visits.
I'm getting conjugal visits.
Literally.
And this is where she brought up that my hair grew when I was in Histius lock.
Yeah.
And he says, long hair, so you won't be staying long. I'm not ever gonna leave again. Like, this is the real me, the current day me.
terror is associated with
Yeah.
her who abandons him.
Yep. And he says, you've lied to me before. And she's like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, she like, hold on, you fucker.
He says, you
Bullshit.
Yeah, you will not tell me that I've lied to you. Name one.
I've gone out of my way to make sure that I did not do that.
Mhm.
I do this anytime somebody accuses me of something and I know that I'm right. I'm like, yeah, please give me I absolutely love for you to give me an example.
But do you make the confused face that really throws him off too? For sure. Holy shit, did I really do that to him? I'm so sorry.
The bitch. She goes into, he's trying to tell her not to approach, first of all. And she actually is like, yeah, like very demanding. Don't come closer. And he tells her, you are the reason Lyra is trapped down there. So I guess that he has finally come to that conclusion
Yeah.
that the lies that not the lies, but the manipulations and the, the omissions are,
Well, and
like, she never told him she was going to be down there, and she was.
like, I feel like his feelings are valid, like, because in all of those other visits, yeah, she wasn't exactly safe in the crucible, but she was still tangible to him.
Yeah.
But then,
He would break every rule in the book easily
yeah,
to protect.
and now this is the only time she's seen Hades after she was technically stuck in Tartarus, and he's aware of that.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, what did I do?
Mm-hmm.
Sees.
You know, there's internal blame there.
Yeah,
Like, we don't get his perspective.
for sure.
He's like, holy shit.
She ties it back into the prophecy, like, year that he was going to burn down the world. And she's like, I told you I'd figure it out and take care of me. You didn't burn down the world. Like, I stopped you. It's good. Like, you protected me until I could figure it out. And he's still in like disbelief.
Yeah, because he's like, no one would willingly enter
Yeah.
that place.
And he's back into like, he thinks that Kronos sent her. And he still is like, hates Kronos, right? Like, he is the epitome of evil. And she tells him that he's dead. And that she's the goddess of time now, doesn't believe her. And even telling her, like, as exactly how it happened. Like, he's the reason we got out of Tartarus. Nothing, prove it. Prove it. Lovely. She's like, I don't know how to use this power. Does that? It's like, that's no pretty straight up. Prove it. I love how readily it came to her.
Yes.
And I actually got really fucking pissed because she didn't try to use it whenever they were
in the fucking me too. I'm
like, you're the goddess.
Stop.
Yeah. Free time.
Because she kept like trying to like jump onto different gods and whatnot to like,
But I was
Ask
like,
them.
just freeze them all. I was
Yeah.
gonna pick one night.
Yep. So
yeah.
thanks for figuring that out when you did Lyra.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't do too much. She just stops time and everything freezes. So she closes her eyes and it feels right. And when she opens, everything's frozen and she just gets close. She just gets closer to Hades in that moment and releases it.
Doesn't she kneel?
She actually is crying and she has her chin on his knees.
Yeah.
Yes. And she says, it's me. I got myself out of that place. I'm here with you. You've always been able to feel the truth of us. Let go of your fear and fear and look at me. And he's really look at me, which is what Rhea said, like, Kim, see you. And she inside, she's like, please don't send me away. I'm not like, I'm telling you the truth. I'm here. I love you. I'm not like, this is it. Like, we are together now. If you'll just let it happen. Hades shakes readily and she's like, oh, well, here's this. I mean, he's going to come me now.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was like, it kind of shook him out of it a little bit because he says, Lyra, it's you. Not you from my future or past or whatever. The bloody hell you've been doing to torment me my entire life. But from now, the one I made is my clean. And she just says, I'll never leave you again. Thank God. Heavens.
Little does he.
Yes. And he holds her. He didn't even do their signature kiss.
No, because he just crumbles and holding her so tight.
So stressful.
It was something.
So chapter 97 starts Hide Your Fires. Hades breaks his chains, and she's like, well, that was easy.
Those were show chains, obviously.
Honestly, when that happened, I was like, what the fuck was the point?
Yeah.
He was trying to stop himself from.
Yeah.
Well, he was putting a lot of power into the fire tentacles, the smoke tentacles. Maybe when he brought that back, the chains were no problem.
Yeah.
He reeled it in, and the chains were like,
And then they share a deep kiss, and he transports them back to their room, and they just jump right into the sexy time.
literally not the time.
Yeah. I was picturing this.
Really bad, like,
She's just like, okay, whatever. The world is literally ending.
ending of this, like, girl.
Normally, I would agree with you, but fuck, if the world is ending, then like, whatever.
She's also the goddess of time, so I guess she could just do it and then like jump back a little bit. And they're like, oh, we did it, but now I like did it.
Should have just froze time.
Yeah.
That's true. Like, just,
True.
come on, girl. But do you think she can freeze time with him, with her? Like, with him also unfrozen?
We see that coming up.
Okay, I didn't pay attention to that, I guess.
To the whole rest of the book.
Rest of the book.
Oh, the bubble. I'm sorry. Yes. I don't know. I was just thinking like a simple,
Yeah.
like more of a simple, like just, I'm going to freeze her here if I hold your heat.
She does.
Whoa.
Anywho,
Into the detail.
nope, urgently jump right into it. Does mention like that her need has never been more intense than his. Like she can finally accept like he needs her just as much as she needs him, and like it hasn't, like she figured out it hasn't been this like ploy or whatever, but like he like deeply needs her.
That ties back into her being like, what did I do to this man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you're never going to leave. Yeah.
I mean, he's only been pining for her for millennia.
Yeah. But really the whole chapter is like their desperation to like have the physical contact and like be together. Like this is finally for Hades at least like the real Lyra, the future, present, past Lyra all in one person that he has not had yet.
It's also punishment sex.
That's what I was going to say. Like,
But I wasn't there yet.
man.
It starts off, that's the next bullet point, but like it's very, all coming together to a head. Like she's finally back and he has her physically, like without all the torture. But then, it turns rough and she's just like basically letting him punish her and like,
Sure.
like,
She actually says,
yeah,
She does.
very much dives into it and just like, I'm the worst. I did it. It's, whatever. And she's like, I can't believe I'm enjoying this. And then like basically he's just getting out all of his anger.
she lets him like say things that aren't true.
Yeah.
Like that you knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
And you left me. And she's like, you're right.
Yeah.
Like just feeding his ego for a little bit there too.
Letting him just, again, release all of his emotions. That's all I wrote for 97. So if there's anything you guys want to add.
I'll always be your star. I love you too damn much to be anything else. And I'm never leaving you again. Best ever. Let's end on that sweet notes.
So then 98, Hades is still really not remembering any of the details from his wrath. Like it was like he shut his whole brain off. And Lyra's like, sorry, but like I have to bring you more pain. And he kind of freaks out. She's like, no, I'm not leaving.
Poor man's gonna have PTSD every time she buys groceries.
And he's like, well, as long as you're not leaving, I can handle everything. And she's like, remember, I told you someone was glamoring the gods, and then takes off his glamour. And so he immediately inhales sharply, what have I done? And buries his face and just starts sobbing. And comes back up and like is like, my father is dead. And then continues to sob.
You ain't wrong.
Hades, I like he says that love isn't always fair or reasonable. And that's like and the epitome of their love. Like it hasn't been fair or reasonable at any point. He's felt it, like you said, especially for millennia. And then she also asks, what did she say? The first time we made love in the pool, and she said that you couldn't give me a future or care for me the way mortals need. But you knew that like my future I'd already visited. Like, what was that about? And he told her that you had me so twisted up, I had no idea what the right thing to do was. I had no idea how or when you would become a goddess. And the way future you was so careful to the point of fear about what you told me. I worried I'd fuck something up by telling you too much. I didn't want to make you promises I didn't know for certain I could keep. And so I think I wondered that. Like, why did he do that?
Mm-hmm.
And it was because at that point he wasn't trying to break her heart.
Right. He wanted her, but was like still very confused himself.
She confusing.
So 99, it all comes tumbling down. Hades like snaps out of it a little bit and he's determined, I will find the person that did this to my parents and I will put them into a new Tartarus. So he immediately jumps up and like gears up head to toe and there is like, okay, well, I'm coming with you and I don't know my powers that well, so let me go through the doors. And then she's like, well, I need to keep telling you more. Like, you leveled Olympus, which he doesn't believe. And she's like, and there's more. You also killed Zeus. And then he's just like, I am a monster. And in that moment, Chiron busts through the door. And he's like, it's an emergency. Water's coming in everywhere. And Hades tries to be like, okay, you stay put and we're going. She's like, hell no, we're in this together. Like, we're not doing this apart anymore. And they teleport down to the underworld where the Titans are holding the water in place and trying to basically save Olympus.
He's trying to get Poseidon to work on it from Olympus side of things.
Then Rhea comes up and Hades is like starstruck. Rhea's like, we don't have time right now, but go coordinate with your siblings.
She said he removed his glamour.
And Hades tries to take Lyra, and she's like, no, I need her here. And he hesitates, and he's
Hell
like,
no.
hell no, yeah. And then
To the mountains.
To know.
he's like, okay, he's like, don't fucking die. And then as soon as he goes away, Rhea's like, Lyra, you gotta do something quick, because we're all dying.
Like, you need to use
Cronus is
Lyra.
yeah, Lyra's like, but you just told Hades. She's like, yeah, because he can't handle it. And I was like, really? Pooping time.
When they get down there, they find Hyperion, Koios, Crius, and Iapetus standing around the hole. And she explains to them like the 4 Titan pillars that once held up the skies now contain the waters. And the powers are spread out from each individual Titan to blur and mesh together. So they're like making this container with their powers to keep the water in one place.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was interesting. Eurybia, the tightness of the seas, is there. Like, was she down there and just like never was mentioned? I guess.
I don't know. There was so much going on at that part.
Tightness of the seas. I wonder what she has to do with this. She's a sister.
But she's to his whom?
Oceanus. I said Oceanus because I'm fancy.
Okay.
Maybe she's his inside source. We're just not hearing about it. Shouldn't be bleeding.
Chapter 100, Father Titan.
How was she into Tartarus? She was in Tartarus, bro.
What?
She's a Titaness.
No, she was not.
Eurybia, Titaness of the sea. She was in Tartarus. Titaness. Tartarus. Titaness.
Are we sure?
They didn't mention her, but all the Titans are in Tartarus.
No.
No.
Sure they are. Why? Well, how'd she get down there then? Because I'm like, who is this bitch?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I was
It's been a long week.
I'll find myself.
I think they're also talking about all the other
Yeah.
people.
But she's the figure inside the deluge. She's like in the middle of it.
Yeah, but she's just a Titaness of the other worlds. No, she was not down there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, chapter 100, Father Time. So she's just like, I don't know how to use this power yet. And Rhea explains she has to, otherwise they will all die. Lyra's the only hope. She's like, I'm tired of that being the story.
She's not wrong.
Yeah. So she travels back to Kronos in their cell. She remembers Kronos telling her, like, when you need me, come find me. And then she's there with Kronos and he's trying to figure out when she came from. And he's like, I died recently too, didn't I? And I think I added myself, but if this was the moment where this was what was confirmed that he had to die. Like the time that she's going back to.
This isn't the you trapped down here with me and current time you got out.
Hmm.
So I guess he just like hangs in there and waits for her to come back and visit.
Or maybe in between that like week she was gone because we're in there and then she came back and he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just got a little closet in his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The money senses something, he just pops in. It's like,
Yeah. So Kronos reassures her he knows that this was the only way with him dying because obviously she's like falling. Like, why did you do that? And Lyra explains to him everything that's going on and that she needs to reverse it for him and like all the things that and Kronos is like, well, that's a difficult one. So he's like, well, we have all the time.
Can you give me a little bit more detail?
Yeah.
He's like, be precise.
So Kronos works on training Lyra, like how to travel and do all the things that she needs to do. And she's like, okay, let's get to it. And he says, that's the Alani worthy of my Hades, which is always sweet.
And he explained to her that now that she isn't bound by the words of Tartar, she can go anywhere in the past she wants for as long as she wants, and she can redirect the exact moment which she wants. So that's going to come into play. It's not like she has to wait for a shard, and she has no idea when that one's going to come back. Like she has full control over her destiny. Lost portion.
So this is the very last section, and it all kind of starts to tie together. Chapter 101, right time, right place. So essentially, this whole chapter is about the application of all of Cronus's teachings to her and her actually putting them to good use. He tells her, yeah, I think you've got the basics as much that I can give you in the time that we need right now. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go back to a specific event in time, whatever you want. You're going to watch it, study it, learn it, don't do anything. Then you're going to do it again and you're going to change something, which he didn't specify like to what degree.
I feel like he said say something small.
Do you go back a third time to see what the repercussions were? That's the one part I kept waiting to kind of show. Just fine.
Manipulate something there. Yeah, he was very not specific.
Yeah. So she decides to go back to when her mother's water breaks in Zeus's temple, which I was thinking about that. I was like, that's kind of what I would do. Honestly, I'd be like, where did all this shit start? Let's figure it out. So she lands, at Zeus's temple, and she sees her parents, they're praying and all of that. And Zeus is there, and she actually sees her mother's water break, and it's like Zeus, he's disgusted, but he's just like, whatever.
He's just like behind the column, like it.
Yeah.
No anger, no cursing.
Yeah, like,
So now,
he's just grossed out that, like, So Lyra decides, like, no, you know what? I already know exactly what's going to end up happening. I'm not doing the watch and see and then come back and do it again. I'm just going to go ahead and do it now because I already know what I have to do.
The universe has got to be shooting. I already said I was first.
yeah, bitch, you are.
Lo and behold, she again is the reason for...
Use the mic.
Okay. So, and this is a part that we kind of led to earlier about if you word the glamour just right, then
Like it's not just one thing.
right.
They're complicated.
Yeah. And so she goes up to Zeus, and this was actually probably my favorite part of this section. She kind of like gets a visual, she worms into his brain and gets like a visual of what's going on in his neural pathways. And she's like, holy shit. Like somebody has been really mucking about in here. And she says, you will heed my command. And he instantly responds, which with him being a god, she expected some kind of resistance. But whoever has been glamoring him, she's like, it's clear they've kind of been...
They've done a bang up job.
Yeah.
A labyrinth of memories cut off, burned, buried, destroyed.
Yeah.
And then new pathways.
I like lobotomize this dude.
Yeah.
And which, again, only leads me to think that it has to be a primordial or a titan, not another Olympian.
Yeah, somebody there with him constantly.
Yeah.
And so, he kind of perks up with like listening. I don't know how to really. And she tells him, you need to be offended. You need to curse the child to be unlovable. But then she specifies that it does not work in the underworld. And that if somebody somehow comes around and realizes that they do love her, like it will no longer work. Which that was crafty, the last part. And so Zeus goes and does that. And then all of a sudden she notices that she sees the little time warp pop in. And who does she see come out of that? But Boone.
Like, definitely wasn't expecting that one.
No.
He's younger too.
Yeah.
17 or 18.
I thought that was weird.
Hey, I'm confused now because I didn't even recognize that. Like,
yeah, I was actually confused by that.
I also am thinking we're going to get more info on the third one.
I feel like we'll learn about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold up.
Boone comes through, and he is also with Persephone.
This is what, kind of going back to what you called out earlier with Persephone. I didn't like whatever I did it in Olympus. So like maybe this again in book 3. We'll learn more about all this. And
I'm so sorry.
No, yeah, I was just thinking out the thought of,
Yeah.
maybe Persephone thought she already knew about this. Well, let me get to what this is.
Yeah.
So, Boone and Persephone are doing whatever the hell they're doing. Boone spots her parents, and he's like, yeah, these assholes. And he walks over and kneels before her mom, and he glamours her. And at first, like, Lyra can't really tell what he's saying, so she gets closer, and she hears him tell the mom, when she's 3 years old, you are going to give her up to the order of thieves. Or den of thieves. What's your vote? Den of thieves?
It is the order of thieves. They are a dead.
Oh, that's a movie.
You're so right.
That's fine.
Wait, Hannah.
I called her
This is what happens.
a den.
For the record, when you don't do your own work, this is what happens. I did not do my own notes.
Okay.
And you don't deserve her. And then he poofs away. And she never really clarified, like, if Persephone was, like, if they came through the time warp together, or if he time warped and she was there. Like,
I think she was there.
okay, so she didn't time warp with him.
Hmm.
But so of course, as you get Lyra's internal monologue of like, hold on, like, what the hell? What is Boone doing? Now affecting the timeline.
That's just so confusing. How was he time warping at 1718? Because that's not progress.
Unless it could have been like, if he was involved in a different iteration.
Well, so we also have not found out.
Like, the 150-year reset.
That was the only time he's ever been there. That's why they were all like, well, he's new.
Was the
In Tartarus.
Which is therefore is where the time warps are.
Aphrodite had gone back to him.
Persephone?
Yes.
I was like, really?
I'm tired.
No, yeah.
Persephone had gone back to him multiple times.
But not Boone coming out of the time. He would have remembered some weird time gap.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
It's really confused.
in that is like, as she's kind of in her mind, like, what the hell? I've gone even further past what the hell of like something is shady.
So it was like, that's when he found out what her parents look like, is in Tartarus.
Supposedly.
Maybe it's in a Sixth Avenue.
No, I really think there's more going on here. And I think
Yeah.
Boone actually knew more of what was going on than he's ever let on.
And this is her realization where she's like, I didn't know that I'm not the only person.
But
I passed.
especially super warped idea, considering that somebody glamored Phoebe to say that they were fated to some extent. And he's been time warping since before they were even like
Okay,
friends.
it can turn out to be bad. That's a stretch.
No, don't argue me.
That's a stretch. That's a stretch.
Oh,
How could it be a stretch? They've only been friends for like maybe a year.
He loves her.
Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. Anyways,
Oh my God, that would be terrible.
yeah,
Couldn't
and
another Abigail book.
I like the Lyra said, I'm the bitch who made my own life.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to that too.
okay, and then she does make the comment like, Boone and I are gonna have to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
And she returns to Kronos. So she goes back to Kronos, right? And
So she goes back to Rhea.
She went to Kronos here, and then she went to Rhea after she got back to Kronos. You're good.
Oh,
chapters 102, 3, and 4. So essentially, Kronos and Lyra have come up with this plan that nobody knows. She doesn't even they don't talk about it in the book. They don't give any hints about it. She just pops back over Rhea, and I guess they kind of come up with like a side idea of this is what we're going to do. And we see it unfurl in the next few chapters. But before they go to do it, Rhea's like, okay, let's go. And she's like, nope, stop. I'm not doing any of this until I talk to Hades, because I swore to him I was not going to just up and disappear. And whatever their plan is, she knows that there is a possibility that she mucks it up so bad that she gets stuck somewhere or she dies, or she doesn't know what's going to happen, because we don't know how long they were training or whatever, but she's never done anything to this scale. And even Kronos is skeptical that it's going to go off without a hitch. So she gets Hades down there, and that's the part where she freezes time except for them, the two of them. And she is not telling him what the plan is, it seems, because their conversation is not super in depth, but she's kind of like, look, this is the gist of what we're going to do. We're going to try and reverse it a little bit, but not completely. We have to be able to keep the Titans out and reverse enough of it that we can still unglamour people, and nothing is destroyed, and the dead gods or whatever would no longer be dead. Which that's a tall order, any realm. But Hades is like, no, absolutely not. But she's like, no, you have to trust me. You have to let me do this. And I felt so bad for him because like he's got to be tired of hearing that. And so she tells him he has to leave and go do what he's got to do. And he finally does. But
No, he doesn't leave.
I thought he did.
No, he's there to go back.
Oh, he just kind of disappears when they reverse it. Okay, my bad. What Hannah said. So she gathers all the Titans. She tells all the Titans to kind of get in a circle. And I thought this was so creepy but sad. They have to get to Theseus, who is dead and laying there, and hold hands with her.
Make sure she goes back too.
Yeah.
When comics leave, Hades is like, I should be here to help you, protect you, do fucking something. And Iapetus chimes in, you've already done enough, nephew. And all of them are like, shut up.
Yeah.
He's like,
That was
so I'll find you somehow. Lyra's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
rude.
Yeah.
If I fuck this up, I'm the one who will have to come find you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And she tells her that you understand that while mortals might forget anything that when
yeah,
gods
that's
will-
the part.
yeah.
And that's the even worse part. So whatever they do to fix all of this, all of the gods that they had pulled the masks from, the glamours, like they're going to
All
remember.
of them will remember.
Well, only the gods of the underworld and death have seen them. So but so they're taking a major risk because they do bring up like we could lose the fort.
Yeah.
And that just means they have that many more true enemies, like regardless as to if they can unglamour them again and all of that, like they're still not going to be on our side because of this. But 'tis a chance they must take. And so once they all get in their little circle and are holding hands, creates a time bubble, essentially, that Hades is not included in. Now that you say that, now I remember.
Mm-hmm.
He's not included in it, and he's saying something to her. Yeah, and she can't really hear him, so she knows that it's actually working, whatever it is that she.
She like,
Yeah, and so then she's being busy. Yeah. So she reverses it just slightly to a certain point where they get back to when they first come out of Tartarus, and says that Iapetus is the one that has strangely volunteered for this. And what he does is he disconnects himself from the little circle and
Wait, what? You're going off of memory?
trying to recap this whole thing quickly.
okay.
I thought that was
You remember all that?
well, yeah, replaying it in my head.
If I could turn back time. That's chapter one.
That's why I was saying, like, on this section, like, every time I got to a new chapter, I was saying,
Okay.
But they
Be
don't.
focused.
Iapetus has going to be the guinea pig on this one. And essentially what he's doing is, so he disconnects himself without disconnecting the circle. So he connects the two people that, whatever, and we're connecting to him.
You see, I had this too before that.
Oh, yeah, they would have already because
How you do it
with the,
uses me your recap.
well, I didn't say you couldn't stop him.
Okay, I just don't know where. Okay, it's fine.
They sure? So the reason he disconnects himself is because he actually goes back into Tartarus, closes the gate, and then tries to reopen it to see if, even though when it was supposed to be closed, like, is it still actually openable for whatever their plan is going to be? And it does work. And so he comes back into the fold. And yes, they did save Tethys to the point where, like, Tethys, when she starts to come back, one of the sisters is like, don't let go, like, keep holding on. And she's kind of looking around like, WTF.
Yeah.
Um,
And through this, like, Lyra's like losing, like she's
Being
weaker.
like, yeah.
yeah.
And they're all like, what's happening to her?
She can barely open her eyes.
Yeah. And she's like, Kronos told me the signs, like, this drink.
And you seem scared about it. That's right there.
Yes.
Because Rhea is starting to her like a worried mother. Like,
Yeah.
are you good?
Yeah. And Kronos also told her that once I get started and got too far down this road, I couldn't stop until I was done. So now that everybody's in the circle and alive, she has to rewind time further back, which she doesn't. That's when she makes the comment, like, I never stopped to ask how long we were down there. But she has to rewind time specifically to that very moment that the doors open and she's sucked in. And so as she's doing this, yeah, she's losing power and she's getting weaker and weaker. to the point where she's like leaning on the wall. And Rhea comes over and essentially shares her power or essence, I would think, like her energy with Lyra. Like she hugs her, and all of a sudden she gets like a boost of energy to keep going. And once she gets to that specific point in time, she stops. And so now all of time is frozen except for, again, them, but they all go into the gate and allow it to close.
The only time was when Charon, Cerberus, and Demeter were in the room suddenly.
Yeah. Like as soon as they dragged him off because she couldn't explain her presence outside of the gates to Demeter, and that was a lot of words. So once they get in there and they stop time or whatever, and I just lost my whole train of thought, guys.
That's okay. They're like, Phoebe's like asking if it worked. And she doesn't know for sure.
Oh,
Like,
because
the doors is still open. If not,
well, this is the part I couldn't remember. So when they pop in there, she's nervous because she goes, I really hope that, now that old Lyra is sucked in, if I go in there, there's not just two of me now. Like I haven't made two of all of us.
yeah.
She was really worried about that, which I feel like is valid. Can't just have two of everybody just moseying about. To which when they do get in there, they're not there. They're old versions.
They test the doors and make sure it still opens and closes and it does. She's sad because Cronos isn't there. And like she makes sure to mention that a couple times to make us sad again. Like Cronos is still dead. Cronos isn't with them. She makes sure she didn't mess up and duplicate everybody.
Yeah.
And I love that. She tells Rhea thank you. And she says, you're as much of a daughter to me as you were to him.
Yeah. Well, there was a part in here that I can't.
Well, ain't that a bitch? I said this now. I don't think I can walk a dog recover. And Persephone and Boone are like,
Oh, yeah.
if they see her like this, they're going to think that she did this instead of Cronos.
Yeah.
It's going to be evident, and if people are going to question it. But then Persephone
Essentially does the same thing Rhea did.
Yeah, gives her all of her energy and powers.
All right. So then she essentially puts them back at the time that they're going to step out. And the Titans have already kind of gone. So when it comes out, it's just Boone and Persephone and Lyra. And the gods of the underworld are there. And she does see that they're still glamored. Again, re-glamored. I don't know. And Anubis, he doesn't flat out say like, yeah, I still remember what you did. It was like, the way he said it was like, no, we're not going to let this, we're not going to forget. And how did he say it?
I don't know. He just remembers that she moved the glamour, but he still seems like he's not sure what to believe, and that he's come to the same realization that they need to keep the glamour as a secret because that'll help them make the world complacent so they can hunt down the person doing it.
Here it is.
It's locked.
Yeah, they check if it's locked, but the part I'm talking about is, he said, I'm sorry, young goddess, but it is not. When she asks, is everything is all right? He's like, no, it's not. Kronos' selfishness may have fixed the damage, but we all remember what Hades did.
He was holding back. The prophecy was worse.
Yeah. It showed us what he's capable of and how easy it is to set him off. Power like that cannot remain in the hands of someone who would do those things simply for the sake of a lover. And so that's when it really kind of sets in, and she sees Hades.
With all the other gods of that.
Yeah. Each have a hand on each shoulder, and a set of scales materializes. And I think this is Osiris, if I remember correctly. I don't think it says in here who it is, but the feather of Maat. But essentially,
Like a blue light in the form of an orb.
they take all of his chest. Yeah, they weigh his guilt by his own conscience, which I feel like is kind of shitty because people hold a lot of guilt that they don't necessarily hold. So they pull out, they do the whole, we're going to weigh your guilt against a feather. And
His side of the scale went down.
yeah, well, and before it even happens, she's like, holy shit, like he holds so much guilt. Like it doesn't matter. Like he'll never come out of this. And she's yelling like, don't kill him, don't kill him. And Anubis holds up a hand and says, you are hereby stripped of your powers and your immortality, no longer a god, but mortal. And all of a sudden, Hades' power is ripped from him. So anyways, fade to the part we cut out. So Hades has his powers ripped from him, and
His power, you're stripped of your powers and your immortality. No longer a god, but mortal.
Are you at the part?
I don't know if it was during, before, or after.
No, it's
the
before.
outburst.
You're good. And then
This bullshit.
yeah, both here and here. But then, they state we can't be without a god of death, which is important because a god of death is different than god of the underworld.
These assholes.
She's like, oh yeah, you're right. As queen of the underworld, I'm limited without Hades' power over death. So it's important to realize, I never put the two together.
She doesn't have power.
She doesn't have any power over death. She can only control the realm, essentially. To which he glances at Persephone and holds out a hand. He splits the bident in half and makes two little baby bidents, which essentially is the cover. Now we know why. The two baby bidents, and he whispers some nonsense and
You skipped. Hold the contest. Anubis declares, which is why I was like, yay,
For the new god of death and the Olympic realms, and we will return to grant the winner of that power.
yes. So we have another first one to look forward to. My favorite part. And he gives the two bidents. He gives one to Persephone and one to Lyra. And that's when she realizes, oh, Persephone was right. We will end up being besties.
Yeah,
Which,
that they can handle it together for now.
yeah, I do just want to say that just because they have to work together does not mean they're going to be besties. And so with that, Anubis leaves. He just poofs. Okay, cool. And then everybody else kind of leaves and they take Hades back to their room. Boone's like, oh, I'll get Asclepius. I don't know what that's going to do, but okay, cool. And she's like, no one can know that I'm weakened. Leave us and I'll recover. No big deal. So then all of a sudden, when he finally wakes up, she's like, oh my God, are you okay? And all he says is, don't worry, my star. I have a plan.
His eyes are blue instead of silver.
So I think we will insert epilogue, our final view on the whole book, and then the next book that we're going to dive into.
A mini episode.
Yeah. Or insert it at the end of this one. I have no idea how I'm going to edit all of this. So we did say, but we're being summoned by our.
We can probably do a half and then a to be continued.
Yeah.
So yes, you can still post them twice. So it's not a.
Yeah. We will add in our final thoughts in the book and go from there.
See you next week on the shelf. We're not going anywhere, so that was kind of awkward.
Right. Welcome back to the final episode. Because I'm imagining we're going to split this up in part 2 now, because this will be the third recording for one episode. Yeah, I don't know what more to say. We're just going to pick right up where we left off. Ashley's going to go through the epilogue, and then we are going to let you guys know what we're going to review next.
Okay. So the epilogue is 3/4 of one page, but I feel like personally it confirms everything that I've thought since I first thought Aphrodite was the backstabber. I will say, if it's not her, my whole world is going to tilt on its axis. And
I feel like you should just read the whole epilogue because it's not very long.
I agree.
Okay. All right. So it's called Deceiver. Yeah. I glamored the immortal world thousands of years ago, and those effects are still intact on every face I see around me. Except Hades, but I think becoming mortal negated the need for that magic. I had to glamour them all, using weak-minded gods to help me do it at the same time and keep them under my thrall all these ages. Those monsters, the Titans, deserved the punishment I ensured they received. But the other gods never would have done it, not without me forcing their hands, and I was right to. Look at what Hades did, what he became. Even I had no idea what I was unleashing when I sent Persephone to Tartarus. The events I would set in motion. The young goddess of spring may appear ditzy with all her smiles and sweetness, but she's sharper than she lets on. She was getting too close, figuring out too much. She would have found me out eventually. In the end, Hades nearly fulfilled the prophecy. He would have if Lyra hadn't stopped him. He's dangerous. He should have been killed as a child. Now he is no longer a threat. The world is safe from Hades. maybe there's nothing else to do except remain vigilant. And to do that, I must stay close to the one who matters most to Hades, Lyra. I will become the sibling she never had, her closest confidant, perhaps even use her in the way I used Zeus, if her mind is malleable enough. Too bad. I've always liked her.
That bitch.
Yeah.
And like the only other avenue I could see if it not being Aphrodite was if somehow Boone made himself mortal. Like he was some kind of like god of some kind and he made himself mortal and somehow played it out that way. But she would not ever let anybody else that close to her.
And you're looking at the ties we have were the proximity to Persephone, which Aphrodite would have, Boone could have. This sounds like a woman.
It sounds like a woman.
Yeah.
Men typically aren't as conniving in that manner. I mean, yeah, some do, but this takes a lot of energy and time and commitment and just flat out, she's petty about something. We don't know to the extent of like why she's so upset with the Titans. I mean, we all think we know, but like,
Well, and I feel like similar to Persephone in the first book, like Aphrodite's now the one we have like these little nuggets with nothing to finish.
Right.
So
we
it
don't have
does-
pretty much actual proof. Like what we've actually read, she has done nothing but be kind and helpful to both
Mhm.
Hades and Lyra.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
know where she came from. We're
And
looking for somebody to blame.
her powers. I think that's the biggest one.
and like, not only is Lyra not trusting at all, but Hades, on top of that, who is he going to allow in her sphere
Mhm.
such an extent other than the one that he trusts the most as a sibling?
Yeah.
He
Well,
even
you
let
know
her
what?
read his-
She's really anti.
In the first book, Zeus Aphrodite tells Zeus, or Zeus tells Aphrodite.
Yeah.
No, Aphrodite tells Zeus about
Yeah, about Persephone and Lyra.
the other.
We never got mad. Like Lyra never got mad at her for that.
No, and it was very weird when we found out because she like told her this huge secret, and then she went
It's
off.
almost like she forgot about it.
No, right?
Like,
She's
yeah.
too much. She and Hades were just in their little honeymoon phase too much.
Mhm.
So, like viewers, we obviously think that Aphrodite is the key to this. And if you recall from us reading earlier in the book, that when Kronos killed Uranus, Aphrodite was born of his blood and semen. I haven't read up on that, but I have a feeling it's more like a transfer of powers, reincarnation kind of situation than an actual just birth of a child, especially since she was born not as an infant.
Right.
Yes, and that's really the only thing that would explain why she would have so many more powers. Because is that right, Ashley? That I don't know what the Titans' parents are called. The what?
Primordials.
The primordials. So the primordials obviously had much more power and just kind of diminishes as it goes down, right? And so she almost would have to be a primordial to have
Yeah.
that power.
No, I would agree. It does she has to somewhat have Uranus in her blood. Not
There's
a
something
great
wrong with
sentence.
that
Some
statement. But
All right. I was sitting in the car with Aiden yesterday, my oldest reading. He was reading a planet book and he just goes, "Parker, look, it's Uranus." Parker's like, "Cool, it's a planet." He's like, "No, your anus. That's a butt." So that's where my head's at with Uranus right now. I think so. We had that thought with the pandemonium, right? With it being Gaia, some kind
I
of.
feel like maybe she's got some kind of influence going on for her to have that much influence in Tartarus, and Oceanus has some kind of intel. We don't know if there really is a gateway or if he just has the power somehow to speak to people down there. Not really sure, but because I mean there could be the Snow White's magic mirror type sitch.
And it was just Kronos's theory that Gaia was the one controlling the pandemonium. So it could have been Aphrodite upset
Well,
that
It's supposed
Uranus.
to be her tomb. Where the obelisk is, it's supposed to be her tomb. So
Right.
how did they say it was like her spirit?
But if there's like a piece of Uranus and Aphrodite, it could also be him through
Yeah.
like her.
Yeah.
Do we know that she's dead besides that?
They said she is. They said that's her tomb, but that is
But we
like
don't know why.
that's the first
We
thing
don't
we've
know
heard
that
about.
she's dead, only that she has a tomb.
Oh, sorry.
And
It's
if she
literally
is
the
dead, we
only
don't know
thing
why.
we've heard about her.
Or how.
So, and like you guys haven't read this, but if anybody watching has read any of the Guild Hunter series from Nalini Singh, in one part of the series, like, as it follows like the main characters, but then you have like offshoots that follow the main timeline of the main people, like in their different relationships and whatnot, but it always kind of comes back to the main characters. Well, one of them, it ties in all the way back from the very first book, and it's this archangel that they had obliterated, and a piece of him, somehow his ex-lover found it, and like his heart grew, but it was like this just grossness. But he had like, because he had put his heart and like pulled hers out and put his in her, but they didn't really know that extent of it, and she had like caught on to like his consciousness, essentially, was like kind of taking over her at times. And so
Some shit like that
it was
happened
being-
in Crowns of Nyaxia too, and there's like, there's the Serpent and the Wings of Night, and then the second one. Well, no, there's the next two. Some shit like that, and people squishing hearts together, and
yeah, and it's just like, with it being this fantasy world, the possibilities are technically endless. Like anything you can think of is a possibility.
Right.
But it definitely, that does give me like pause to, that is valid, at least in what I've read in other books too. Like it would be a semi-common
yeah.
way of thinking.
So we know that we have to wait almost a year for the next book. We know we're going to be with more games and trials because the gods of death, all the gods of death, are going to compete for who's the new god of the underworld. Yes,
Out of the dead.
god of the dead. Like,
Yeah, because Lyra is
the
goddess.
head honcho. Yeah, the head honcho of death because
Mhm.
Hades is mortal now. And we know that.
But Hades has a plan. We don't know his, but he has.
We don't know what it is. That we were left on a cliffhanger for this plan. Yep, we know we'll have games and trials, and we know that probably Aphrodite is gonna try to mess with Lyra and manipulate her and try to make her bring into spaghetti like Zeus's. That's where we are.
Yeah. I do just want to say,
You said doo-doo. Huh?
Um,
Sorry, of little boys. I just can't.
at the end of this trilogy, I can confidently state that if they try to spin a world where Hades is not fully back in his role that he was created to do, and the thought is to leave us with, a world exists where Hades is not in control and everything's fine. Like I'll never read the series again. Like I can't do it.
We're
That's
not
fine.
waiting to wrap up the book.
I'm throwing that out there. Like,
Well,
I'm
I
all for
loved it.
like creative, ideas and coming up with like new ways to spin things, but like that's not one of them. Sorry.
I feel confident that Abigail is gonna give us our love happy ending
Yeah.
because she's kept us hanging every single book, and she owes us that, Abigail.
I mean, I fully believe that will happen, right? I believe that their story will wrap up in a way that we are all comfortable with. I mean more on the non-relationship side. Like that could fall to smithereens, but like Hades has to be the one running the underworld.
They're gonna
Or
live together in
God.
love and immortality, ruling the underworld together, or they'll both die and they'll be happy in their perfect death world.
In Elysium.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for a Hallmark
that too.
ending, guys.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like that wraps it up pretty well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I loved it. I'll probably end up rereading it just so I can like read through it all in one sitting.
In the chaos, we had some chaos in family drama, which is why we had 3 episodes here that would be smooshed together, and we're in all different outfits and different settings. So it was
Yes.
super fun for Hannah to edit. So
Well, and
I
I
think
think
we're
we
also
get,
doing
we
that
get
with
less
all.
put together with each recording too. We're all just
Right,
like
right.
less and less. And we're just getting through life best we can through
Now,
the holidays.
that's life. Yeah.
Like,
Hannah, do you want to go through what you have proposed for us for our next read?
You're gonna read The Housemaids
Just the housemate.
just in time for the movie to come out.
So, for backstory, our soon-to-be sister-in-law our brother finally got the nerve up to make that official. She picked this out for our book club that got us started on this podcast because we could never get our lives together. So for Kaylee, we're finally
doing it.
getting there, girl. A year
Maybe
later.
she'll jump in as guest.
Yes.
She has read it. I could
Yeah.
technically also bring Chris on as a guest speaker, but
Ooh,
he gets very frozen when he has to speak about anything. So
You should definitely bring him on. Let's do that. That sounds so much fun.
then he
do
can
it
And you
in.
guys, you'll get to see how we interact with, the outsiders that our inner circle has decided is good enough to bring into our family circle and deal with all of our drama.
All
Gotcha.
right. Housemaid refers to both a best-selling psychological thriller novel and upcoming 2025 film, both centered on a young woman who takes a live-in maid job for a wealthy, seemingly perfect couple, only to discover their dark secrets and become entangled in a dangerous web of deceit and manipulation. The story involves shocking twists, dangerous games, and explores themes of power and illusion. Exciting.
Ooh, I'm excited. It'll be a little different and it's short.
No, I'm excited as
Yeah.
well. It's similar, well, not exactly, but kind of like in-depth series. A little
Yeah, it's got more like murder,
Yeah.
mysterious kind of vibes than fantasy.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
a
actually
nice-
know if anybody's murdered, so that wasn't a spoiler. It's possible, it's probable, but I don't.
Okay, I guess that's it for the last 20 so minutes of our third take in this final episode. So we
I
hope
think
you
so.
guys saw much improvement from the first and are sticking with us, and we're having a good time.
We are making it happen.
All right.
We'd like to thank our lovely editor, Hannah,
Oh,
who's
thanks.
doing all the things to get us out there.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
I don't TikTok, so that would be impossible for me. I also refuse in my millennial age to get a TikTok. I don't know what it is.
Yep. I have the app. Friends
only
send me
have it
stuff that.
because of this now.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah. So I'm learning.
We're all old and cranky and don't want any more apps if we can help it. So.
All right. Well, join us next time as we dive into The Housemaid.
Love you, sisters.
Love you, sisters.
Love you guys.